Why have you brought your pastor before this honorable court?
Because he took advantage of my mother and misled her, which led to my brother's death.
I see. What exactly did he do to your mother?
My elder brother was seriously ill. We were told he had been poisoned. He was in the village, so we sent 500,000 to our mother to take him to the hospital. Instead, she took him to the pastor's church.
Is the pastor a qualified medical doctor?
To the best of my knowledge, he is not. While my brother was receiving treatment at the hospital, the pastor came to pray for him. He asked about his condition, and the nurse informed him that his situation was becoming complicated, despite medical tests showing no clear diagnosis. The pastor then told my mother that God revealed it was a spiritual attack, and that continued hospital treatment would worsen his condition. He instructed that my brother be taken to the church for divine healing.
Do you have any evidence to support this claim?
Yes, I do. I personally called the pastor after my brother was taken to the church, and he repeated the same claims to me. I have that conversation recorded on my phone.
Did you or your family give the pastor any money?
Yes. My mother handed over the 500,000 we sent for hospital treatment to the pastor. Later, he called me, claiming the money was insufficient for what God instructed him to buy, and requested an additional 300,000, which we sent. Sadly, my brother died just 3 days after being taken to the church. Are you a medical doctor?
No, I am not. However, God has used me to heal many sick people, and the deceased's mother is aware of this. Why then did you direct that the sick man be brought to your church instead of allowing him to continue hospital treatment? While I was praying for him in the hospital, God revealed to me that his condition was spiritual. I was instructed on certain items to procure and use for his healing. Did you, in fact, procure those items? Yes, I did. And it was observed that he even began to speak and show signs of improvement before he eventually passed on. That will be all for this witness, my lord. Here is my judgment. Having carefully considered the evidence before this honorable court, the testimony of the complainant, the evidence of the pastor, and the submissions made during the proceedings, the sole issue for determination is whether the defendant is criminally liable for the death of the deceased. The evidence before the court shows that the deceased was initially receiving treatment at a hospital before he was taken to the defendant's church. The claim that the illness was spiritual in nature is not disputed. It is also not disputed that the defendant received sums of money from the family for items allegedly required for spiritual healing. However, criminal liability cannot be founded on suspicion, assumptions, emotions, or moral considerations. The law requires proof beyond reasonable doubt. The prosecution has failed to place before this court any expert medical evidence establishing the actual cause of death of the deceased. No autopsy report was tendered. No medical practitioner testified that the deceased died as a result of being removed from the hospital, or because of any act or omission of the defendant. There is equally no evidence that the defendant physically harmed the deceased or intentionally caused his death. While the court finds the conduct of discouraging medical treatment in favor of spiritual intervention to be irresponsible and capable of grave consequences, irresponsibility alone does not amount to criminal homicide in the absence of the legal elements required by law. Accordingly, this court holds that the prosecution has failed to prove beyond reasonable doubt that the defendant caused or contributed to the death of the deceased in a manner recognized by criminal law. The defendant is therefore entitled to the benefit of doubt. Consequently, the defendant is hereby discharged and acquitted of the offense alleged against him. This shall be the judgment of the court. As the court pleases.
This story reminds us that faith should work hand in hand with wisdom. My brother, prayer is good and important, no doubt. But my dear, timely medical attention can save lives. When serious illness comes knocking, you must not play. Always seek professional medical care. Do you agree with the court's judgment? Should the pastor have been held responsible? Or did the court make the right decision based on the law? Please let us know what you think in the comment section. Follow this page for more real-life legal scenarios explained in simple terms.